NBC News now reporting 3 Republicans might break with the party and vote to hear witnesses. That vote coming as soon as tomorrow. Many wondering, though, if the retiring Republican Senator Lamar Alexander could make for the 4th vote, which would change everything. So what's he thinking? How does he work? Well, now we turn to Tom Ingram, who was chief of staff for Senator Alexander for several years and ran campaigns for Republican Senators Bob Corker and Fred Thompson. Knows his way around that caucus. And listening along with me, former Republican Congressman David Jolly. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Thank you, Art.
What will Lamar Alexander do?
We'll know when we know.
How does he approach these decisions?
Very deliberately, very thoughtfully, very studied, and close to his vest.
If Mitch McConnell was seeking outside pressure, some of which we've already seen, ads from the Club for Growth, statements by Sean Hannity about the heresy of anyone cutting against him, is that the type of thing, in your view, that would affect Senator Lamar Alexander's thinking on an issue like this?
No, waste of time and money.
You are more concise than a lot of us around here, which I appreciate. When people look at this Senate process, I mentioned some of the other senators you've worked for. What is the thing that people sometimes might not know or understand from the outside that you know from working directly with these people? For example, we hear a lot of impugning of motives, a lot of ideas about how it works. What in your experiences really drives these decisions?
I think most people in Washington, certainly most senators, despite perceptions and mischaracterizations, are good people trying to do the right thing, and I absolutely know that to be the case with Lamar Alexander.
Yeah, let me read a little bit from the Times coverage as well on Senator Alexander. It says, as the Senate heads towards a vote on this, Alexander, who's broken with Trump over trade, the border wall, and health care, does not, they write, appear ready for a, quote, Howard Baker moment. He said he will make a decision about witnesses after Mr. Trump's team presents its defense and senators have an opportunity to ask questions, but he does not sound eager to defect. Is that reporting, do you think, on the level or getting out ahead of where his mind might be?
Well, I wouldn't characterize as eager to defect. He would not be eager to impeach any president or indict or convict any president. He has great respect for the office. He has great respect for the institutions of the Congress and the presidency. And under any circumstances, this is a distasteful, undesirable process to have to go through.
Congressman Jolly?
Yeah, Tom, David Jolly here. Question for you as a baseline question about Lamar Alexander. He did run for president in 1996, and I remember that campaign very well. He strikes me as somebody that could not possibly believe that, out of respect for the office of the presidency, an office he sought, that the president's alleged behavior is appropriate for the office. Is it fair to suggest that he would be in the camp of Donald Trump may have behaved wrongly here, but then the question on whether to convict and evict him from office is a separate question? What's your take on the baseline question from Lamar Alexander? Is what Donald Trump did appropriate for the office or not?
This is my speculation and not speaking for him at all, but it's entirely possible to be disgusted with behavior and conduct and believe all kinds of mistakes may have been made, but separate that question from the very serious question of impeachment and conviction.
Yeah, and looking at the many Republicans you've worked for, including, as mentioned, Corker, Fred Thompson, Sundquist, do you look at Donald Trump now as revealing the real core truth of the modern Republican Party, or do you look at him ultimately as an aberration and the party may move on?
I look at Donald Trump as Donald Trump. The party, whether you're talking about the Democratic Party or the Republican parties, are very difficult to define concisely anymore. They're very complicated from their extremes to their middles. But I look at Donald Trump as Donald Trump.
Well, you can't be wrong about that. Mr. Ingram, we really appreciate you joining us. You've been inside the arena, and very interesting to hear you, sir.
Thank you, Ari.
Thank you. Congressman Jolly, of course, riding along with us, as well as my entire panel. We've got a lot more when Chris Matthews takes over after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.